delivered, and what you promise should be measured against people's will also with the time.
Any right-thinking person who is in the SLFP will never join the port tour.
We based on the principles as well as the dedicated people who really want a change in this country.
We hang the petty thieves and appoint the great ones to public office.
Face the Nation. Sanuda, Ratri 9:30.
A very good evening and welcome to Primetime News, live here on Newsfirst. I'm Mahina Bongzo.
Good evening and welcome. I am Shaheen Jarampati. These are our headlines.
MP Bimal Veeravansa raises concerns over a group of Americans who landed in Colombo with 6 extremely large bags.
අපිට තිබෙන තොරතුරු අනුව නිසි පරීක්ෂා කිරීමක් ගුවන්තොටුපොළේදී වෙලක් නැහැ. හෝටලේ ස්කෑන් පරීක්ෂණය කරන්න කිව්වම මේගොල්ලෝ බෑග් දෙන එක ප්‍රතික්ෂේප කළා. ඒතකොට මේගොල්ලෝගේ මේ ගමන් මළු හයට මොකද උනේ?
5 nationalist MPs who defected from the SLFP to face disciplinary action and asked to show cause within a week. Construction of the Central Expressway remains unfinished.
මේකට දැන් අතුලත් වෙන තැනකුත් නැහැ, පිට වෙන තැනකුත් නැහැ. දැන් මේ මාර්ගයේ අවසානෙකුත් නැහැ.
A scam of dumping clinical waste on public roads revealed. Several suspects arrested.
Taking a look at those stories in detail now. Convening a media briefing, leader of the National Freedom Front, parliamentarian Bimal Veeravansa made a revelation today.
On the 30th of July this year, about 5 or 6 US nationals came to Hilton in Colombo during the night. They came to the hotel seeking accommodation. These US nationals were carrying about 6 large bags as well. They were reluctant to give their bags for inspection. They refused to hand over their luggage for inspection continuously. When we looked into this matter, it was revealed that these 6 individuals had arrived in the island in a US state aircraft. These US nationals and their luggage were not inspected in the airport as well. They refused to hand over their luggage for security scan at the Hilton as well. After a while, a jeep belonging to the US Embassy in Sri Lanka arrived. The vehicle number is KL6586 and this is the front view of the jeep. The 6 bags belonging to the US national were taken away in this jeep. Of the 6 bags, 1 bag was inspected. There was a metal detector inside the bag. This is one of the US nationals who arrived in the island and this is a copy of his identity card. On the top corner of the document it is stated the government of the United States. It then states June 2020 and Uniformed Service Army. Then the document also states June 15th, 2020. His name is Messier Alexander Mackland. These are the passport copies of the rest. So what about the US nationals? What about their luggage? Their 6 bags. As far as I know, in another 2 days the US nationals will leave to the Maldives. However, they will leave their luggage in Sri Lanka. Why did they bring such luggage into our country and why are they not taking it back? Why were they against the inspection of these bags? Was it because the bags contained something that would lead to controversy? Could it be explosives or something similar? This country has turned out to be neglectful to the extent where any US national can enter the country and do anything as they please.
ඔහේ ඕන ඇමරිකන් කාර්යයකට ඇවිල්ලා ඕන දෙයක් කරලා යන්න පුළුවන් වෙන විදිහේ අතහැරලා දාපු රාජ්‍යයක් බවට පත් වෙලා.
The Committee on Public Enterprises, or CORP, met in Parliament today.
It was revealed during the year ending 31st December 2018, a financial scam of 100.5 million rupees in the main branch of the National Savings Bank or the NSB had taken place. During the recent past, the bank had also made an insurance claim of 11 million rupees to recover part of the losses incurred due to fraudulent transactions within the bank. During the court proceedings, the administration of NSB admitted that the bank recruited over 1,000 individuals based on a document sent by the private secretary of the subject minister. While this recruitment process was severely criticized by COPE, it ordered to suspend the recruitment process immediately and instructed the administration of the bank to formulate a recruitment policy and to present it to COPE. At the proceedings of the Committee on Public Accounts, or the COPA, it was revealed the government had incurred a loss of 4 billion rupees when issuing driver's licenses. This loss was due to a further 2-year extension of an agreement with a private institution following the expiry of a 7-year contract with the latter.
Information has come to light of a profiteering racket where waste from hospitals and clinics are dumped on roads, and the latest incidents were reported from 2 separate locations today.
Early this morning, a stock of clinical waste was discovered dumped on the Malvanadompe road in Puhuru Villa. According to locals, the clinical waste was dumped at around 12 this morning. A CCTV camera captured the movement of a tipper truck transporting the clinical waste. Disposed hospital syringes, needles, gloves, face masks and saline tubes were among those discovered from the pile of clinical waste which was dumped on the side of the road.
මේ කඩොලාන මේකෙන් කැලණි ගඟට වතුර යන්නේ ඒකේ වතුර ටික තමයි මේ පැත්තේ බොන්නේ එහා පැත්තේ කුඹුරු ගන්නවා.
Locals claim 2 men in a motorbike arrived on site at 5 this morning and attempted to set fire to the pile of waste.
එන්නේ පෙට්‍රල් භූමිතල මේගොල්ලෝ සැලසුම් කරලා මේක ගින්දර දාන්න ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා ආයි දෙවෙනි වතාවටත් ඇවිල්ලා
අපේ මම ඒකට පෙට්‍රල් දානවා වාස්සේ මම මේ මොකටද මේ දාන්නේ කියලා මොකටද කවුද ගෙනාවේ කියලා එතකොට බයිසිකලේ ටක් ගාලා එයා ස්ටාර්ට් කරගෙන ලයිට් එකක් දාලා මෙහාට ආවා.
Police commenced an investigation after locals filed their concerns, and the tipper truck in question was discovered hidden in a property in Meethirigala, Dompe this afternoon. A father and son that served as the driver and assistant for the tipper truck were arrested. The tipper truck and the suspects were escorted by police to the very site where the waste was dumped.
වකුගඩු හොස්පිටල් එකේ එකෙන් ගත්තේ. ඒක කොහෙද මේ බාන ගිහිල්ලා? අපි නෙමෙයි කොන්ට්‍රැක්ට් එක. කොන්ට්‍රැක්ට් මෙහි බාන්නත් සැන්ටෙන් වල බාල යන්නද ඔයගොල්ලෝ ගන්නෙ මේක? අපි දන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක මෙතන බෑවේ. අපි මේ ලොරිය හැරකට අපි නෑ මෙතන බාන්නේ කිව්වේ කවුද? මේ කොන්ට්‍රැක්ට් එක. සාමාන්‍ය බාන්නේ කොහෙද මේවා? මොකද මේවා නඩු දානවා. අපි ගන්නවා සෙට උදේට අධිකරණයට දානවා. දාලා අවශ්‍ය දඬුවම් සියල්ලම දෙනවා. පොලිසියෙන් දෙන්න පුළුවන් දඬුවම් දෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ නගර සභාවේ PHI මාධ්‍යයෙන් දෙන්න පුළුවන්. ප්‍රචාර දෙන්න එපා. ඊළඟ දේවල් දෙනවා.
The father and son were then ordered to move the waste back into the tipper truck. Our correspondent said the suspects, along with the critical waste, were taken to the Dompe police station for onward legal action. A similar pile of waste was discovered in Puvudugama close to the Vanathavilluwa 8th mile post. Our correspondent said the clinical waste was discovered dumped inside a private coconut estate. Over the recent weeks, Newsfirst highlighted how tons of garbage was brought to Sri Lanka from overseas under the guise of various business motives. However, no concrete legal action was taken against any of those responsible for those incidents. Against such a backdrop, incidents are now being reported where clinical waste is simply dumped at various locations.
Well, reports suggest the construction of the first and third phases of the Central Expressway will be further delayed.
The Central Expressway from Kadawatha to Kurunegala and Galagedera was planned to be completed in 3 phases at a cost of $2,773 million.
We have planned the Central Expressway from Kadawatha to Mirigama as first section, then Mirigama to Kurunegala, and from Pothuhara to Galagedera as section 3. It is unfortunate that only section 2 is flourishing with local contractors and local consultants. We stuck with the Central Expressway 1 since Chinese government still waiting to release the money. And Central Expressway 3, the problematic thing, and discussions are going on with the Attorney General Department to avoid the unfavorable conditions of the Japanese law.
Construction of phase 1 of the Central Expressway from Kadawatha to Meerigama was to be done by China based on an agreement reached between the two nations. However, the anticipated loan from the Asian Development Bank for this section is yet to be received by the government. Though the ADB had agreed to provide a loan of $1 billion, the Sri Lankan government was compelled to make an advance payment of 15% for this before the loan is released. Interestingly, while phase 1 is delayed further, cabinet approval was given for construction of phase 4 of the Central Expressway to be handed over to a Chinese firm. In addition, construction of phase 2 of the Central Expressway is done by local companies with loans released by local banks. When the section from Meerigama to Kurunegala reached near completion, an issue with regard to the construction of the Potuhera interchange caused more complications. The contract for the construction of the interchange was vested with phase 3 contractor Taisei. However, as construction is yet to begin, there is no place to exit the expressway despite phase 2 being completed. Despite objections from the contractor, the Road Development Authority decided to move construction of the interchange to phase 2 with cabinet approval. Taisei Corporation from Japan warned omitting the interchange at Potuhera and moving it under the government of Sri Lanka would result in them stepping away from the project. Later, the Road Development Authority said the matter was solved. However, construction of phase 3 of the Central Expressway is yet to begin. The RDA says the issues in the loan agreement had attributed to this situation. 4 years after the Central Expressway project was launched, only the 38-kilometer stretch of road in the middle of the expressway was constructed. The Central Expressway project began when Minister Lakshman Kiriyalla was the subject minister.
This is what they call the Central Expressway. There is no place to enter or exit this expressway, and there is no end to it as well. It is only up to Meerigama. And when are we to reach Colombo using this? Companies attached to Minister Kiriyalla come here and engage in construction. We would like to clearly note Minister Kiriyalla was receiving commissions from this project. As a result of it, companies with ties to him were given the contract and the project is stalled at multiple locations. This is a road with no beginning, middle or end. It takes 45 minutes to reach here from Colombo, but thereafter one must travel to Kandy via Meerigama and Varakapola. So tell us how the entire journey takes 45 minutes. As per the information available to us, the subject minister and his daughter used the expressway project as a money-making venue. The construction of the expressway depends on the size of the commission given to them. The delay, in fact, lines their own pockets.
This is a very strange thing. Why the government is in a hurry, the minister is in a hurry to obtain a facility from a state bank and do only one part of this express highway. The government has failed to obtain the necessary facilitations and the loans for the completion of the entire expressway. And the government is in a hurry to do just one part in a very short time. What is the reason behind? Obtaining facilities from a state bank for the government is a very easy thing. Our huge sum running into billions, if it has been lent from the state banks with a piece of paper that shows that the government is only trying to resort to easy ways of finding monies to do some part of the work and not to complete the job. There are commissions, there are bribes, there are misdoings, there are misappropriations. We don't know for what purpose, but the intention is not clear in this instance, and the government should not resort to measures of this nature.
One will have to adopt the behavior of the frog to travel on this expressway. One must jump from one section of the road to another. It's no issue for Lakshman Kiriyalla. They made money from this. It's becoming a money pit for MPs and ministers. There is no point in taking loans at high interest rates by pawning the lives of the people.
State banks contain the money of the general public. If the taxpayers' money is invested in such projects, it should be done only after an assessment is done on its benefits. If the anticipated benefit of the Central Expressway is to be reaped, the expressway must be completed. Isn't the result of not being able to reap benefits because of a partially constructed expressway is in fact wasting public funds? Indictments were filed against Gotabaya Rajapaksa at the Permanent High Court trial at Bar for constructing a memorial using public funds. If this is the case, Shouldn't the masterminds behind the Central Expressway project, where the public funds are wasted for personal gains, be brought before the law?
Questions were raised regarding the Central Cultural Fund in Parliament today.
We have informed that 3,600 million rupees has been released from the Central Cultural Fund of the Ministry of Cultural Affairs, which comes under Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, without obtaining approval. Where was the money spent? The House should be informed about who obtained this money.
When discussing about these things in Parliament, at least a report of the Auditor General should be produced to show that there is an actual issue here. A report has not been presented in this regard, or there should be a report from either the COPE or the COPA following discussions and debates in those forums, but those reports have not been presented here.
Usually, according to the cabinet paper, we have recruited employees and assigned them to their respective workplaces. But the previous government removed those workplaces. Those employees were relieved of their duties. They then took this up in court. The court then ruled this illegal. Let me explain. I'd like to ask the subject minister, can you recruit people without obtaining approval?
A former minister says that there was no cadre. My simple question is, the employees who were recruited to the manpower agency for 1,200 rupees were paid only 700 rupees. Where is the remaining 500 rupees?
We have used funds worth 1,598 million rupees. We had to obtain money from the deposits because the revenue decreased following the terror attack in April. I like to state responsibly that these funds were not used for the well-being of any individual, a private entity or any other organization. 361 Dhamma schools are being constructed with a cost of 3 million rupees each in line with the Tripitakabi Vandana program. How is that considered as a wrongdoing in this country? Is it a sin? Is it a punishable act? 78.5 million rupees has been spent on special programs we have implemented centering Hambantota. Several sub-projects worth 49 million rupees have been implemented in line with the Abhayagiri project. For 11 projects only in Mirisbatia, Thuparamaya and Mihintale, 384 million rupees has been spent. Next week, I will attend an opening ceremony of the Asgiri chapter. Those Buddhists who fail to construct a gateway for the Asgiri chapter can't watch us working this hard. I wake up at 4 a.m. and go to sleep at midnight. I'm not doing a business or to launder money. This is also not to obtain bribes or commissions. I am doing something for the country. So why are you unfairly accusing me? My belief is on this and in temples. So accuse as much as you want. You can even send me to Valikada. I have no problem. My target for this year is to construct 1,000 Dhamma schools in this country.
ඔබතුමා ලොකුම ලොකු අමාරුවක වටනවා මොකක් හරි කාගේ හරි ගොන් කොන්ත්‍රාත්තුවක් බාර අරගෙන අද දවසේ ආවරණ අනුමැතිය නැතිව.
You accuse me of acting without protected approval. I can tell that this MP has done the same. Here are the details to be tabled. In 2012, you have done projects worth 61.2 million rupees with protected approval. More projects worth 4.8 million rupees. I will table this in Parliament today. There are more projects worth 1.6 million rupees. I have the files here. Even during Akali Viraj Karyavasams time, a large number of projects were done.
අනුමැතිය ලැබෙනකන් හිටියොත් මොනම වැඩක්වත් කරන්නේ නැහැ.
Sri Lanka cricket was grilled by COPE over incidents which took place at SLC and raised serious concerns. Jamal Ratnayaka joins us with more.
Last night we brought information regarding the COPE committee proceedings and that officials from Sri Lanka cricket appeared before the committee to provide statements. What we realized more prominently throughout the duration of the proceeding was that officials of Sri Lanka cricket were unresponsive to many questions which were posed to them, and the replies that they provided were hugely inaccurate. Yesterday's COPE committee proceedings drew much public attention due to the negligent nature of SLC officials. Further, another question which can be raised based on the revelations which were made yesterday is whether officials of Sri Lanka cricket had breached foreign exchange laws, and similarly if they have gone against the legal provisions provided in the Inland Revenue Act. Now, before delving deeper into this, let's view some of the answers which SLC officials provided during the court proceedings yesterday.
ඔබතුමාලට ශ්‍රී ලංකා ක්‍රිකට් ආයතනයේ හැටියට විදේශ ගිණුම් කීයක් තියෙනවද කොහෙද තියෙන්නේ? ශ්‍රී ලංකා ක්‍රිකට් ආයතනයේ හැටියට සම්පූර්ණ
අපිට විදේශ මේ accounts මොනවත්ම නැහැ.
වගකීමෙන්ද කියන්නේ?
අප වගකීමෙන් කියන්නේ.
තව කවුරු හරි ඒක සම්පූර්ණ බෝඩ් එකම එකඟ වෙනවද ඒකට?
ඇඩිලේඩ් වල ඔය ක්‍රිකට් ඒඩ් ෆන්ක්ෂන් එකක් අපි පැවැත්තුවා. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ තියෙනවා ශ්‍රී ලංකා ක්‍රිකට් නමින් ඇඩිලේඩ් කියලා account එකක් ඒගොල්ලෝ රන් කරනවා.
හරි.
අදාළ නැහැ. මම කිව්වේ මම මේ සඳහන් කරන්නේ මේ
මම අහන්නේ
ශ්‍රී ලංකා සභාපතිතුමනි ශ්‍රී ලංකා ක්‍රිකට් බෝඩ් එකට
accounts නැහැ.
උතර ශ්‍රී ලංකා ක්‍රිකට් කියන නම පාවිච්චි කරන්න ඔබතුමාලා එයාට බලය දීලා තියෙනවද?
බලය දීලා තියෙනවා අපි.
බලය දීලා තියෙනවා. මං ඇහුවේ ගාන නෙමෙයි ලේඛනේ තියෙනවද කියලා.
මට ඇත්තටම මතක නැහැ.
මතක නැහැ. නමුත් තියෙනවා කියලා බුදුහා කියනවා. එතකොට මහන් මහත්තයා ඒ අයගේ ගිණුම් වල තියෙන දැන් වර්තමාන තත්ත්වේ ඒ කොච්චර මුදල් තියෙනවද?
ඒක
කියන්නේ ඔබතුමාලට වාර්තා ලබා ගන්න පුළුවන්.
මාරු වෙනවා සභාපතිතුමා ඒ ඔෆිස් බෑරර්ස්.
ගිණුම් වාර්තා ලබා ගන්න පුළුවන්ද බැරිද කියන එක විතරයි ඇහුවේ.
හැබැයි දැන් ඒ ડોක්ටර් ක්වින්ටස් කියන එක නැහැ. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ මේ ෆවුන්ඩේෂන් එකක්
මම ඇහුවේ පුජ්‍යලයා නෙමෙයි. ඔබතුමාට තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ මම අහන එක. ඒක නැත්නම් හොඳටම තේරිලා වැරදි උත්තරයක් දෙනවා.
That is because we have a MOU signed with them.
These are private
මම ඒක තමයි ඇහුවේ.
Right, but if you can give me
MOU එකක් තියෙනවා.
ගිණුම් වාර්තා ලබා දෙන්න තියෙනවා කියලා.
That's right.
හැබැයි ඒ ගිණුම අරින්න ඒ ගිණුමට මුදල් ලෙවන්න කියලා ලියුම යවන්නේ ක්‍රිකට් පාලක මණ්ඩලයේ නිලධාරීන්. මම හරියට කිව්වා.
එහෙම තමයි අපි එහෙම හරි. එහෙම තමයි අපි
so that's මොකද එහෙම තමයි අපි ඇයි මේ ක්‍රිකට් පාලක මණ්ඩලයේ උත්තර දෙන්නේ නැත්තේ හරියට?
සර් ඒක තමයි එහෙම තමයි ගිහිලා ඒ ලියුමක් ගියේ ඉඳ තමයි සර් අපි ඒක කම්ප්ලේන්ට් කරා.
that's what he asked. ක්‍රිකට් පාලක මණ්ඩලයේ මුදල් සම්බන්ධව ඉන්න ප්‍රධානියා විසින් යවන ලද ඊමේල් පණිවිඩයක් නිසා තමයි ඔය විදේශ ගිණුම ඇරෙන්නේ. ඒකට සල්ලි එන්නේ. පිළිගන්න ඕනේ එතකොට. කියන්නේ ක්‍රිකට් පාලක මණ්ඩලය දැනුවත්ම වෙච්ච මේකක් මේක. ඒතර ඔබතුමාට අර ඉස්සෙල්ලා කියපු ප්‍රශ්නට උත්තරේ දෙන්න බෑ වෙන විදේශ ගිණුම් නැහැ කියලා. මේ විදේශ ගිණුම ක්‍රිකට් පාලක මණ්ඩලය දැනුවත් කරපු ගිණුමක්.
දැනට සර් එහෙම එවිඩන්ස් එකක් අපිට නැහැ. අපේ head of finance එහෙම account එකක් කරලා තියනවා කියලා නැහැ. හැබැයි head of finance direction එකක් දීලා තියනවා කියලා මේම account එකට සල්ලි transfer කරන්න කියලා අපිට දැන් තියෙන හැටියට එවිඩන්ස් එකක් තියෙනවා. මොකද අපේ මේ එයාගේ address එකෙන් ගිහිල්ලා අපේ server එකෙන් ගිහිල්ලා තියෙන ඉඳන්.
අනුව ඒ සමාගම කියලා නැත්නම් එහෙම මුදල් transfer කරා කියලා.
ඒ සමාගම කියලා තියෙනවා ඒ මුදල් transfer කරලා තියෙනවා. account
එකට ගන්න දෙනු සිද්ධ වෙලා තියෙනවා.
මෙතන ඉන්නවද head of finance?
එයාව අපි මේ suspend කරලා තියෙනවා.
After viewing this clip, you must be wondering who granted SLC with this power. Essentially, SLC officials requested permission from the Central Bank of Sri Lanka to open a bank account to deposit money to the charity named Cricket Aid. However, the Central Bank had informed SLC in writing that according to the legal administration of Sri Lanka, such an account cannot be opened. That is where the ambiguity of this transaction comes in, because Sri Lanka Cricket goes against the orders of the Central Bank to open such an account overseas. How did Sri Lanka Cricket create such an account in a manner which it can be controlled solely by the President, the Secretary and Treasurer? Now, many details surfaced last evening regarding several foreign accounts which were opened by SLC. We will now cross over to those revelations.
ඉතින් ඔය එංගලන්තේ ඔය ඉවෙන්ට් එක කරන්න අපි මෙතනින් බැංක් ඔෆ් සිලෝන් එකෙන් account එකක් කිව්වම ඒගොල්ලන් බැංක් ඔෆ් සිලෝන් එකේ මේ account එකක් open කරන්න ඒකෙන්ද අපි එංගලන්තේ තිබුණ account එකට අපි ඒ සල්ලි ටික transfer කරා.
එංගලන්තේ තිබුණ account එක කාගේ නමින්ද තිබුණේ?
ඒක තිබුණේ ඉංග්ලන්ඩ් වේල්ස් කියලා ඉංග්ලන්ඩ් වේල්ස් ක්‍රිකට් බෝඩ් එකේ. ක්‍රිකට් බෝඩ් එකේ නමින් තමයි ඒ account එක තියෙන්නේ.
එතකොට ඒක account එක පාවිච්චි කරන කවුද ඔබතුමාලට බලය දුන්නේ? කවුද තීරණය කරේ කවුද?
ඒක බලය දීලා තිබුණේ මේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා ක්‍රිකට් එකෙන් අපේ විධායක කමිටුවෙන් අපිට ඒකට බලය දීලා තිබුණා ඒක පාවිච්චි කරන්න.
බෝඩ් මීට් තියනවද?
ඒ බෝඩ් මිනිට්ස් ඇති ඒක මට
හරි නෑ අද ඕනේ නෑ. ඒ බෝඩ් මීට් එක අපිට දෙන්න. එහෙම ඔබතුමාලට ඒ ගිනුව පරිහරණය කරන්න බලය පවරපු බෝඩ් මිනිට් එක අපට සතියක් ඇතුළත ලබා දෙන්න.
What is the power, the capacity Sri Lanka Cricket holds rather in order to go against monetary policies, the law of this land or the law of this country and even the Central Bank of Sri Lanka? Now, there is one important factor that should be mentioned here. This issue cannot be swept under the carpet because it is now out in the open. The truth has prevailed. The shortcomings of the SLC, which were identified by the COPE in 2016, have been re-identified again after a lapse of 3 years. Finally, we would like to add, these SLC officials hold executive positions within this sporting body. These officials have families, children, loved ones, and one day when, not if, when they are brought before the law for these misdealings, they would not only be bringing shame to and disgrace upon themselves, but also to their families. They have acted in violation of the law of the country, going against the orders given by the key financial body of the country, which is the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. Cricket is the sole sport revered and loved by all 21 million Sri Lankans. We love cricket, and it is indeed a shame that the competent officials who have been selected to hold such a massive responsibility are committing such frauds instead of working towards the upliftment of the sport that we love and are passionate about.
The Sri Lanka Freedom Party has decided to take disciplinary action against 5 National List MPs for defecting from the party.
We've sent letters on taking disciplinary action against National List MPs who defected to the UNP and SLPP. They should show cause within a week with regard to the decision, the party and their actions. Letters were issued on 5 MP, namely SP Disanayake, Dilan Pereira, AHM Fauzi, Vijit Vijayamuni Soiza and Lakshman Yapa Abewardena. They entered from the national list and defected from the SLFP. It is clearly stated one can be removed from the party after 7 days. This process needs to end within a month, and it's clearly mentioned in the party's legal framework. Thereafter, if they wish, they can resort to legal action. The 19th Amendment to the Constitution says if an MP obtains membership of another party, he or she loses the parliamentary seat. You are aware of the ongoing discussions. I take you want to sabotage the discussions by saying disciplinary action is taking place. We have no desire. If I do not issue a letter as a General Secretary of the UPFA while parliamentary seats are abolished by the Parliamentary Select Committee for obtaining membership of the SLPP, and if the party leader did not support, and if the parliamentary group did not reach such a decision, then we are not MPs. The SLFP, while being progressive together with the left parties, must contest the elections. We will continue with this process. They've created parties and appointed leaders. They are recruiting our Pradesh Sabha members and MPs.
Meanwhile, a group of former ministers who have left their ministerial portfolios and the party are still residing in the official residences granted to them. AHM Fauzi, one of the ministers to face disciplinary action, is also one of the ministers.
It has been reported that many politicians live in houses that don't belong to them. It was reported that this number exceeds 20. According to the 1969 Act on Recovery of Possessions of Houses, this is a clear violation of the law. Parliament is where people elect MPs to establish law. We are saddened by the fact that people in Parliament are violating the law. Secretary to the Ministry of State Administration and the General Secretary of Parliament have the authority to implement law against these people. There are also a group who remain in these houses by paying a certain amount from their salaries to the government. That is not illegal, but we can clearly state that the majority do not make a payment to the government.
Export Vision 2030, organized by the National Chamber of Exporters, was held in Colombo last evening.
The forum, held under the theme focusing on the future of the country, highlighted the issues faced by exporters and discussed the changes that are required to meet with the Export Vision 2030.
So we have to go back and learn from the history the mistakes we have made. Where did we go wrong for 70 years? We have, in the 40s, obtained independence. Our great leader, whoever at that time, Mr. D.S. Nayaka, had a vision of agriculture. I think he was right. First feed your people before you talk anything else. What is the problem in this country is the politics. The politics have corrupted all of us, including myself. And no policy, no discipline, no rule of law. If we have discipline, the rule of law, things will come right. Look at our dairy industry, we have an island. We spend billions of dollars to import milk powder, milk products. Then the government went and imported cows. Spent billions to import cows, all sick cows. This is where we are going wrong. We have our stuff, we have everything here. But why? What are we doing?
President Maithripala Sirisena says it is a necessity at present to unite all without religious and ethnic differences to achieve peace while eliminating poverty.
The President extended his greetings to the World Annual Bora Conference today. The annual Bora Conference commenced at the Bora Masjid in Colombo and will be held for 10 days.
President Muhammadu Buhari has said Nigeria will re-examine the closure of its embassy in Colombo in view of the important relationship the country has with Sri Lanka. Nigeria closed its embassy in 2017.
Buhari gave the assurance yesterday during a farewell audience granted to the outgoing High Commissioner of Sri Lanka, Thambiraja Ravindran, at the State House in Abuja. The Nigerian president explained that financial challenges which the country faced at the time informed the closure of some embassies and consulates during a rationalization exercise. He promised that his administration will take another look at the decision as it affected Sri Lanka following the request by Ravindran. President Buhari wished outgoing High Commissioner Ravindran success in his future undertakings. In his remarks, the outgoing High Commissioner said he had spent 4 out of his 30-year career in diplomatic service in Nigeria. He said his period in Nigeria was remarkable in several ways, stressing that he enjoyed the support and cooperation of Nigerians and was greatly assisted by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
In international news tonight, Hong Kong Chief Executive Carrie Lam has announced the formal withdrawal of a controversial extradition bill that sparked months of protests.
The Beijing-backed leader made the announcement in a televised statement today. The scrapping of the bill, which would have allowed extraditions to mainland China, was one of the main demands of the pro-democracy movement in the semi-autonomous Chinese territory. The bill was suspended in June when Lam called it dead, but she stopped short of withdrawing it. However, anti-government protests have continued and become increasingly more violent, beginning to reflect a greater call for democracy. Thousands of protesters have been arrested and the police are facing backlash for using excessive force. Hong Kong was handed back to China in 1997 after more than 150 years of British rule. It has remained semi-autonomous under a one-country, two-system principle, but some fear China is seeking greater control.
And with that, we bring tonight's edition of News First Primetime News to a close. Thank you very much for watching. I am Shahin Jurangpati.
And I'm Mahina Bongzo. Good night.